And I think that this also reinforces that same premise.
Indeed. So check it out. It's the Great American Pop Culture Quiz Show. It was a lot of fun. We've already gotten some great reviews from people who listened to it. They really enjoyed it. So check it out.
Yeah, I mean, amazing that they put that together with such care and professionalism, and the three of us goofballs getting in there and somehow not letting us break anything. It was amazing. Yeah.
Okay, I have a quick weekly plug, and that is writer Miles McNutt, the culture critic. He has written the official Game of Thrones companion book. And he recently stopped by my podcast, Culturally Relevant, to talk about writing that book. And what was really interesting is that he was originally supposed to release that book before the last season of Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. And then the publishing was delayed. And so they just said, you know what? F it. Like, let's just put it out after the season is over. And he had to change a lot of things about the book, because I don't know if you guys remember, but pre-final season of Game of Thrones, like the pop culture was like, the popular imagination was a much different place than it was afterwards. So we had a great time talking about how he wrote that book and what happened when the final season occurred. Widely regarded as one of the worst endings of a TV show ever, I think. And so it was a great conversation.
Did he say that he wished he'd put the book out just a little earlier?
Well, the thing is that he had, when he wrote the book, intending it to be released before the final season, there was a bunch of stuff that he wrote that was kind of didn't apply by the final season. I'm not going to give anything away, but there's characters that's like, well, the show is clearly setting this character up to be a massive hero, and then the final season happens and it's not the case, you know? Mm-hmm. So I think it's a fascinating conversation. Check it out. It's on Culturally Relevant. That's my weekly plug. Devindra, how about you?
Over in Gadget, I chatted with Nicholas Doucet, the creative director of Team Asobi in Japan. That is one of Sony's developers who created Astro's Playroom on the PlayStation 5. That's the game that's pre-installed in every system. I think it's a really, really phenomenal game, and it really shows off that DualSense controller in fun ways. So we had a really good conversation about basically how they came up with that, the prototyping they did, and just like, it's just pure like gameplay experimentation. So the print interview is up now, and actually by Tuesday, by the time you're hearing this, you'll be able to listen to the audio interview too on the Engadget podcast. So you can check it out in both places.
Very awesome. Cool. Team Asobi is just knocking it out of the park right now. I mean, the Astrobot rescue mission was absolutely phenomenal. And they followed up with an equally inventive, wonderful. I mean, this is Nintendo quality platformer.
It's great.
Sure.
It's super it's super smart. But also, I think they've basically made the first PlayStation mascot that genuinely works. Right? Yeah. Like, I think Astro is the PlayStation mascot now, more than like Crash Bandicoot ever was.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, good on them.
All right, check out that interview. I just Googled Team Asobi Astro's Playroom, and you're the first result that pops up, Devindra.
All right.
So congratulations
That's
on
great.
that. Jeff, your weekly plug.
Well, I have a lot of things that I could mention, but several of them are taking a break for Thanksgiving. And so I thought I'd take this opportunity to mention again my Cameo page. I haven't talked about it in a few weeks. And at the behest of listeners to this show who enjoy my limericks, I now have an opportunity for you to get your own handmade, personally crafted, bespoke limerick made by yours truly, delivered by yours truly over video for any occasion. If we have some sort of, I don't know, big holiday coming up where a lot of people want presents, what better gift than a personal message from me in the form of a limerick? I'm happy to do it. They are handcrafted, and you can find them over at cameo.com/Jeff Kanata. I've done almost 60 of them now, and lots of wonderful reviews, and people really pleased with. I'm having a blast doing it, so it's lots of fun, and I hope to do lots more. So check it out, cameo.com/Jeff Kanata.
All right, that's it for weekly plugs. Let's get to our review of The Nest.
Things are dried up here for me.
Oh! Yeah!
There's an opportunity.
Where?
London.
This would be our fourth move in 10
Turn it
years.
backwards.
But money's fine, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. This is a fresh start.
How about this?
You shouldn't be working for someone else. Be your own boss. Build your own place. Own your own horses.
Something doesn't feel right.
It's not your job to worry. You leave that to your husband.
It scares me that you actually think that.
That was from the trailer for The Nest, the newest film by writer-director Sean Durkin. I'm going to read the plot summary from IMDb. Life for an entrepreneur and his American family begins to take a twisted turn after moving into an English country manor. Now, Devendra Hardawar, you were like pretty invested in watching this week.
Sure.
You know,
Sean Durkin, come on.
We have a lot of debates about like what is going to be the main review. It's like often not often, occasionally contentious, but it's usually quite spirited. And but Devendra rarely is like, we have to do this one, right? But this was one of the times when you're like, we have to do this. Now, Sean Durkin burst onto the scene in 2011 with Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene, a brilliant film, and also one of like Elizabeth Olsen's first film. That was like kind of the movie that revealed that she was a true talent with staying power.
Yeah.
But yeah, any reason other than that why you were super psyched for this Sean Durkin?
I mean, basically that. Like, and also we have not seen a movie from this guy since Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene. Like he did. There's like a TV miniseries he worked on. Southcliffe. Yeah, which I've not heard anything about, so I don't know. Maybe it's good, but I have really been waiting to see him just come on with a sophomore feature, because Martha Marcy, I remember exactly where I saw that in New York. I believe, it was in a theater that is now torn down, the Landmark Sunshine. But I remember sitting with the crowd with it. I remember a review of it. Like that movie was just phenomenal, and like it is something that sat with me since then. So yeah, I want to see whatever else this guy has cooking for sure.
Jeff, have you seen Martha, Marcy, May, Marlene?
I have not. I'm anxious to.
Ooh.
I have not seen it.
It's a great film. It's really
disturbing
really
as
haunting.
hell.
Yeah. All right. So all that said, it's been 9 years since that movie came out. What did you think of The Nest as a follow up to it?
Yeah, I absolutely loved it. It's probably, I don't think it's as groundbreaking a movie as The Nest was, or as Martha Marcy was, just because it feels like we've seen the story many, many times, you know, of a marital relationship that kind of falls apart, and their move and everything is all like a metaphor for the state of their relationship. But I think as a film and as a drama, this thing is a terrifying exploration of a marriage that's basically held together by duct tape and lies. You know, like it is these performances by Jude Law and Carrie Coon.
Tape and lies.
It's just like, it is, you could see from the very beginning that things aren't quite right. But Jude Law is playing a guy who on the surface is like, yeah, he's a great dad. Like he plays with the kids. He brings his wife coffee in the morning when she wakes up late. Like he's a young go-getter. Everybody wants to work with him. He seems to be having some a rough spot business wise, but hey, we're going to move to a whole new country and uproot your lives, and it'll be very exciting. It'll be a fun adventure. I think this movie does a great job of just exemplifying so much of what both Jude Law and Carrie Coon do so well. Like this is a movie that banks entirely on the Jude Law charm. We're not going to spoil too much here, but yeah, this movie is basically him as Ripley from The Talented Mr. Ripley in many ways. Like it kind of flips that notion a bit. And I think he does such a great job of just trying to sell his lies and his like delusion of reality at times. And Carrie Coon is this very strong, very like intelligent foil to him, who seems like, I think at the beginning of the movie, we don't know how much she was onto him, but we'll talk some about some of this stuff in spoilers. I think there are certainly clues where like she also fully doesn't trust this guy in certain respects, but seeing her kind of come back at him, especially like towards, by the middle and end of this movie, like it is a phenomenal game of cat and mouse between them. So yeah, I love this completely. I'm not sure if like it is a movie set in the 80s that's really trying to be an 80s film. And I think some, period touch pieces work really well. Just the setting overall and the music is great, but I don't know if it's saying anything more about the idea of like the go-go 80s and the Wall Street era, focus on like, getting as rich as you can as much as possible. Money is the only thing that matters. I'm not sure if it really explores that very well, but seeing these two characters kind of try to, live that lie or live that life, I think is incredibly fascinating. And man, I could have watched this movie for hours. I would have loved to see more of the tit and tat between Jude Law and Carrie Coon. And this movie reminds me of why I loved Carrie Coon so much in The Leftovers. Like there's so much of her like power that we see from that show in this film. So yeah, I cannot wait for everybody to see it. But what did you guys think?
Jeff Kanata, hit us.
Well, in order to hit you, Dave, I'm going to have to use a limerick.
Wow, you're going to have to use a limerick. Interesting.
Because you're forcing me.
Yeah.
To do that.
Okay.
I don't want to.
Yeah. It's all Dave's charm. It's really making this happen. Yeah.
All right, here's the limerick. A view of a husband and wife living through marital strife. The film is terrific because it's specific with universal problems of life.
Nice. Simple yet elegant.
Thank you.
Very much like Carrie Coon's character in the movie.
Dude, I am actively in love with Carrie Coons. I'm not going to sugarcoat it.
I will just say I got her name wrong. It is Carrie Coon, not Carrie Coons. My bad.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Know her name. Yeah.
Yep.
I knew that, and I let you embarrass me in front of her, Dave.
She's listening to this right now.
Yeah.
Live.
I'll never live that down, and there goes my shot.
Yep.
It bums me out how often she's smoking in things because it makes me think she's a real life smoker, which bums me out so much because I love her.
Yeah,
anyway,
but she's also the sort of actor who's like, man, movies make smoking look so cool when everybody's doing it. And she is really good at that. The smoke acting.
I know, but stop smoking, Carrie. You're
stop
amazing.
Stop smoking.
I actively love her, and even though my wife's not in earshot. But anyway.
You'll have to fight Tracy Letts to make this dream happen, Jeff. So I hope you're prepared for that fist fight.
I mean,
yeah, you could take him.
I have to.
You could take him. Yeah.
I echo almost everything that Devendra said. I think this movie is amazing. It feels like a movie about how hard it is to be.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like how hard it is to be. It's hard to be. And I knew nothing about this movie going into it, as per usual, but I also didn't really know what this movie was about 40 minutes into the movie. I didn't know what it was about.
Yeah.
And and I was totally fine with that. I just wanted to hang out with these people. These, like you said, Devendra, I could have spent hours watching this movie. You just are insinuated into the daily lives of this family. And for, the movie's about an hour and 40 minutes, almost half of it, nothing really happens. It's just you're hanging out with these people and you're invested in the progress of their life. And in some magical way, the movie makes that fascinating, compelling, and completely watchable. I just wanted to be around these people and learn more about them and be part of their lives. It's fascinating. And then, things do start happening. You sort of understand where it's going. But even then, it's a subtle shift. It's not a big, act turn where there's some big revelation. It's just things to sort of start to unravel and decay. And then, you just are on this journey with these people. And there's I don't think there's really any antagonist other than the difficulty of life. Right? Life is hard. People, it's hard to be. And even
also
these people,
it's expectations, right? The villain is the expectations of capitalism and modern life, basically.
Yeah. And I mean, these characters are clearly damaged and they're trying not to damage their kids and, failing on some respects in that regard. And and we'll talk about the ending later, but I was moved by it. And it's a really unique, beautiful film. It reminded me of something like The Ice Storm,
Which, by the way, the Next Picture Show, great podcast, just paired these two movies together.
Oh,
So,
did they really?
Yeah,
I did not know that. Wow. I think that's a great pairing. It very much reminded me of that movie where it's just sort of this like slice of life